Another really great thing about today is I am going to be at the end at the 12:50 mark. I'm going to stop and share a new service that we are launching. We presented it to a beta group last week and got a lot of really good feedback. We're excited to launch it. So at 12:50, I will stop taking questions and I'll be going over our new service. And then I would love any feedback that you guys have because it's brand new and love to hear it. But yeah, let's get started. Welcome to camp. Before we go too far in, I do want to share a quick story with you guys. So many of you know I am not a new mom, but a mom for 4 years. But I have a new one that I had in January, Anthony. Um, and I had an experience with him in the last 2 weeks that has just reminded me the importance of the projects that we do here at Create My Cookbook. Um, I named Anthony Anthony because my husband is Italian, and I thought Anthony was going to come out like all dark olive skin. And who doesn't love an Antonio? Uh, but he's not. He's this little pasty baby, like blonde hair, see-through skin. And so it is a little ironic, but he's so cute. And my mom came to visit the other day, and we're sitting at the dinner table, and she's just carrying on. She's like, "Oh my gosh, doesn't Anthony look like Uncle Chris?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, he does, my uncle." And my oldest daughter, Anne Marie, is like, "Who's Uncle Chris?" And my mom's, he passed when I was in high school. He was in a car accident. And my mom is getting to share all the stories of Uncle Chris, all the shenanigans. And he was a large man, and very strong. His party trick, was that he could like pick up cars, like the end of them, and like move them. Um, and so super strong. We're sharing all the stories, and I didn't think much of it. I thought, "Oh, that's sweet." It was a healing moment for my mom. And then uh last Thursday, not this last the last week, Anthony got sick for the first time, which is always scary, especially with a new guy. And I am being super short. I'm trying to get my daughter to school and him to the pediatrician and all the things. And I'm not bringing my best self to our morning. And honestly, it's not great. And I get in the car, and Anne Marie's like, Mom, are you scared?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, he's little. I want to make sure he's okay." And she's like, "Oh, I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. He's just like Uncle Chris. He's so strong. He'll be fine." And it was a grounding moment. And I realized just how important those stories are that we have at the dinner table. I realized why we do the things we do and why we share the stories we share. And it reminded me of a study that I read um, not long ago by Rice University. And I actually went back and I pulled the study, and I wanted to share it here with you. And what Rice University found was that families who have a strong narrative that talk about their past generations and talk about their family stories, those children, they have higher self-esteem, and they face challenges better than other students and other children. And the reason for it is they know that they are a part of something bigger than themselves. They feel connected to something bigger than themselves, and they know they're a part of a bigger story. And so it was just one of those moments where I became very proud of the work that I do, and I remember the importance of the work that we're doing. I also want you guys to understand, many of you are working on your family cookbooks, and they're more than just recipes. These are the stories and the recipes that we have at our dinner table, and our kids are listening. And it's important that we have these stories and these recipes documented so that we don't lose them, and that my kids have them, but not only my kids, but the generations after that. Um, we do have a really fun, you've probably seen this. We do fun photo contest. And here's one we did a couple years ago, and it was cooking with the kids. Let me share my screen and I'll show you. Um, and they're just fun. Like these are fun moments. And we have another competition going on right now, and it is a Mother's Day giveaway. And I'm going to share the link in the chat now. With this giveaway, you can nominate a mom, aunt, grandma in your life. If you share a little bit about them and why you're nominating, we're going to give away one of our cookbook kits. And so let me stop sharing my screen. The cookbook kit will go to the mom who wins. We will announce the winner on May 8th. And I'm putting that in the chat for everybody. But also, whoever the nominee was will get a $100 Create My Cookbook gift certificate. So, fun way to celebrate moms. But yeah, so I'm glad to have you guys here. I'm glad that you're working on your family cookbooks. Um, I'm going to start off with a quick Q&A. We'll start answering anyone's questions. At 12:30, I'm going to stop and show everyone how to do some quick Mother's Day cookbooks. And then at 12:50, I'm going to stop and share a new service. But yeah, let's start answering some cookbook questions. If you have a question, raise your hand and let's get started. Who's first? Any questions? Should I jump right to the Mother's Day stuff? Oh, I see you, Becky. Hey, Becky. You're muted right now. If you hit the mute button on the side, bottom left, Miss Becky, I can't hear you because it's muted.
I see it.
There you are.
Hey, am I in the right workshop? I think this sounds very much like what I did last week.
You were in our beta group, and I will share that. We are at Cookbook Camp, but I am going to share it this time last week. But yeah, you're here. Do you have a cookbook question I can answer for you?
Pardon?
Do you have a cookbook question that I can answer for you?
No, the only thing that I wanted to let you know is I'm leaving early. I've got another appointment.
Okay, well, thanks for letting me know. All right. Who has a cookbook question? You can raise your hand. Joe, I see you. What can I help you with, Joe? Unmute yourself.
Okay. I've been trying to get this project of mine started since last year. And it's actually, I'm a director of a senior group at our church.
Nice.
And I'm trying to put together a cookbook, a culmination of cookbooks that were done years ago, add those recipes plus new ones. And I'm looking also at the cost. And
Okay.
I'm thinking, okay, what are we going to be using this cookbook for? How
Right.
often? I understand the Mother Days, the special day books.
Right.
But when we were looking at a project like this, I'm thinking, well, maybe we can give it away to our present 29ers, which is our senior group, and we can give it to the new ones that come into the church. And then we have a luncheon every month that we like to invite newcomers, have a lunch. There's preaching and music and that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best opportunity to use this cookbook to where it's just not a mug that they're going to put in their cabinet or in their drawer, that it might be used. But then again, that's maybe what it is.
Right. I can definitely give you some insight. Carly, I think she's on this. She actually handles all of our corporate and fundraising accounts. Carly, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I'm here. So I think we actually connected like last December or
It was last year.
November. Yeah. So I'll reach out to you and we can get something set up and we can kind
We
of
can work on that, but I'll give you some insight as far as like ways to brand this. So a couple things when we're working on a community cookbook, when you really want it to be used, and there's many different ways. Some people use it for fundraising, so they will sell the books themselves.
Well, we're not going to sell the books.
You're
We're
not
not
going
going
to
to sell them. We're going to give them away.
So things that you want to do is make sure that you are opening it up for the whole community to contribute recipes, because what we see in these community books is when everyone feels like they were a part of it, they get really excited about the book. So gathering the recipes from everyone in that, I don't know if you would do just the seniors or everyone in the church, perhaps, so that it just kind of is a representation of the full community. You can also make sure that you include photos of the church and the members of the church. So just, throughout the cookbook is another way to kind of really tell that story, and having some of those anecdotal stories kind of periodically through the book is a great way to make people feel welcomed and use it in a way to help represent your community and the stories that are behind it.
I think the story part is good, but it's only going to be really to the 29ers and the senior group. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, we've got a big church. If we start including everything, it's going to be a encyclopedia.
Then I would leave it, if it was me, I would leave it as just including the 29ers and their recipes and their stories. Um and I would start there and use and just contain it to that is what I would do. But I would meet with Carly again. I know you said it's been a year, and she can help come up with a really custom plan to get you where you're wanting with this cookbook.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks.
Carly, message Joe your
Will
link. All right, Gabrielle, can I help you with? If you hit the bottom left corner, there's an audio that should unmute you. Gabrielle. Oops, all right, I'm gonna go to Soledad. Hey, Soledad.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My question is, I wanted to combine the first book I have with the new book that I'm working on.
Okay,
What's the simplest way to add the old?
so you want to combine the first book that you're on with a new book?
Correct.
Okay, so in your first book, are they just recipes, or is it recipes and stories?
It's both.
It's both. Okay. So the easiest thing to do is going in the second book. What is it? Both?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. The easiest thing to do would be duplicate the one. Let me show you how to do this real quick. Duplicate the book that you're working on. Oops. Get my account. Duplicate the book that you're wanting to kind of like merge, and you can do that by just hitting the duplicate button. And then when you're in there, oh gosh, what did I do? There we go. When you start the second book, all of your recipes should be in the account. I would go ahead and go in there and add them. And the way to do that is you're going to go to the recipe box, and you'll see the ones that aren't in the book, and you can filter by not in the book. In the book? No. So we want to grab all of those and add them to the book, and that should add them to the appropriate sections or create section dividers if needed. The only thing that you are going to have to do is you're going to have to go back and copy and paste those stories because they don't go across books. And so I would put the stories in, but your photos will be in there. Your photos, just like your recipes, are in your account, and then you can add those, if that makes sense.
Okay, that's pretty simple. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Glad to have you. All right. I saw Gabrielle had put the question in the chat.
How do you raise your hand? I don't know how to do it.
Well, the bottom there's a little react, but I will as soon as I answer Gabrielle's, I will.
I see it. Never mind.
Yep, there you are. We'll get you there, Miss Elaine. All right, Gabrielle, my main question is how to add photo layouts or my own JPEG of things I've made in Photoshop, the correct resolution, because the tools you have are limiting. Okay, so if you're wanting to, Gabrielle, upload an image, what you're going to want to do is in your book, like if you've created something and you want to upload it, you're just going to want to add just a photo page. And from this photo page, you're going to want to select the whole big photo so it takes up the full page. You'll upload the image. And what I would say is go 8x10 for the image, and that should scale it just about right. And then if you're seeing a low DPI, go back to where you created that image, Photoshop or Canva, and just increase the you know how you can make it a larger image. That should take care of your DPI problem, and then you can just add photo pages as many as you would like. So yeah, hope that answers that question. There we go. And you can use for section dividers, you can add photos as well. You'll just do the exact same thing. And there's two layouts when it comes to section dividers. You have the half a photo and you have the full image. I like the full image. I think it looks really nice and clean. You can upload photos there. All right, Miss Elaine, what can I help you with? Whoops, I think you're muted.
Yeah. My question was similar to what she just asked. My book is important to me. I have all my mother's recipes, and I'm passing this down to my children who they've grown up with them. But what I'm also doing, and I guess what I'm going to be looking for is ideas on how to put it all together. I've been working on it for a year and a half, just going through photos and everything. But I want to include the recipes, the stories behind some of the recipes, pictures, like all of it. Um, this is like kind of an important book for our family traditions. So any kind of ideas, and that this might not even be a question you're answering. Maybe this is something that there might be recorded camps that I wasn't able to get to or something.
Happy to answer it for you. I think it sounds like a beautiful book. I mean, there's lots of ways that you can incorporate uh, your family stories. A few things you can do. You can start by just adding story pages, and you'll select story page. And what I like about this is you'll have a big, huge, block of text that you can tell kind of a full story.
And
If
then
you
there's
have a smaller story that's kind of just like this is the time that this is with one of your kids, your kids' names, like Sue, I don't know.
Evan and Laura.
This is Mara's favorite recipe. Her grandmother used to make it every year on her birthday. Like it's a quick story like that, but you're just wanting to pass that. What I would do in that situation is I would add that story in the notes section of the recipe.
Oh, I got you.
And so if it's a small, quick story, put it in the notes. If it's a bigger story or it's kind of, it's things like that, I would add it to a story page. Another thing that a lot of people like to do is they'll create a family tree because that is
That's what I
another way
wanted to.
to tell the story. And they will upload those as a photo, which you just saw me explaining to Gabrielle. They'll upload that as an image. But that also kind of helps incorporate because once, when we're making these family heirloom books, um, often we're creating it for ourselves, but we also want to keep it for generations. So just giving some explanation of like who are all these people and how do they relate to you. So adding a family tree is a great way to tell that story.
And then when the time comes, like, is there help with actually organizing it so that it looks nice, putting it
So
together?
yeah, there's a couple of things that you can do to organize. One is I like to work from the recipe box and put all my recipes in first.
That
And
I
then
have done that. That's where I'm actually at.
nice,
They're
nice.
all in.
You're doing it. Okay, so the next thing is make sure you have those categories in there. Um, because what you can do is you can grab all of them and back to action, add them to the book, and that will lay the book out for you. And if you want to kind of tweak things, move them around, this isn't a good example. Let me grab a book that's a better example. You can move those sections to what works best for you. And I'm gonna tease Joe because he's our only guy here, or at least that I'm seeing right now. Most women organize. What's going on? Sorry, guys. I think my internet is. There we are. Most men will organize it alphabetically. And most women we go like appetizers, breakfast, things like that.
Yeah.
So how you choose to organize it is totally up to you, and it very much so depends on the categories. I've seen people organize it anywhere from like appetizers, entrees, breakfast, miscellaneous, soups and salads to like who wrote the recipe, like here are all grandma's recipes, here's all Aunt Sue's recipes, things like that. Or I've also seen by holiday. So like here are all of our Thanksgiving recipes, here are all of our Easter recipes. And I think it just depends on the recipe collection you have and what works best for that.
All right. That sounds good. Right.
Well, stick around. I think you might learn something, and if you have any more questions, feel free to raise your hand. Gina, I have a recipe and a story page on one page. Can you have the recipe and a picture on the same page? Yeah, absolutely. We have layouts of the recipes that include photos, and I'll show you how to do that. So if you just pop to a recipe page, am I back on another blank book? My goodness. Give it just a second. if you grab a page, this is just kind of a, here we go, that has a recipe, you'll notice under the layouts that we have ones with photos, and that's what I would do for that one. So that's how you do that. Okay, any other questions?
Thank you. And what about a story, like I guess you said in the notes section is the best way to put this, like
It depends
intro.
on how long the story is. If it's a short one, put it in the notes. If not, just pop a story page beside it.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. All right, any other questions? Got about 8 more minutes for questions, and then I'm going to pop on and show you guys a couple of tips and tricks to do a quick Mother's Day cookbook you can gift. Any other questions? If not, we'll get started. All right, let me show you guys a couple of neat things that you can do. One, if you have your recipes in and you're working on your family cookbook, but you want to do a quick Mother's Day cookbook, we do have these recipe booklets, which are really fun. There's a couple of different variations. But what you can do is when you start these booklets, and here's the Mother's Day one, you'll just grab the recipes that are in your account. You can add a sweet dedication, or we have some like pre-written ones, which are nice. And you can select what recipes you want in your account. You do have to have at least 6. And then you can hit generate. This is going to lay out a really quick, pretty book. It already has a template and everything else. You don't have to do any work. And this is just a really quick, fast way to make a pretty Mother's Day book that you can order quickly and have ready for the holidays. Another idea that is really fun to do is if you go into the designer and start another book. Mom's Kitchen is always a fun title. You could either put just a couple of recipes in it, or what you can do is you can come in, and what's really fun is if you have a picture of all the grandbabies, let me show you how to do this. I have one. Use it for the cover. Especially if this is for like grandma. We had a family photo last year. It works. Where is it? Is the question. Here it is. So here's like a family photo. I'm just going to use it, make a quick cover. And I'll make this darker. If you have a photo that has this negative space, that's great for creating a pretty cover. And honestly, I would just take that off. Now what I can do is I can just fill this with blank recipe pages. And this is a fun way just to give her like a recipe journal that she can use in her kitchen. And so these are just quick, easy gifts. And of course, you could always make her an actual cookbook if that's what you're working on. But I know a lot of us are like, I'm in on this project. I'm not quite ready to. I won't be done by Mother's Day. So there's just a few ideas to make quick Mother's Day gifts. All right. Any questions? Anybody working on a Mother's Day cookbook or a family cookbook they're trying to finish by Mother's Day? Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Who wants to see? We're see Jenny. Who wants to see our newest service that we're working on? We did it last week. We can go ahead and get started there, and I'll be happy to share it. All right. Soul Dad, did you see the video? Did I send it to you?
I didn't get to watch it yet, but I'd love to see
You're
it.
here. You're here. Okay, guys, I'm excited. I'm actually really excited about this. Oh, Janet had a question. All right, we'll answer Janet's question and then I'll show you. How do you add recipes to a category? There's a couple different ways to do that, Janet. You can go in the recipe box and you can select the recipe themselves and change them in a batch action and assign them to a category. You can go in individually and add the recipe category. Or if you had, just add these to the book really quick. If they're in the book, you can go to the recipe in itself. What am I doing? Sorry guys, I did not know why my internet today is being a little bit slow. I can't even say like it's a rainy day. It's beautiful outside. Here we are. Okay. And you hit the edit button. From here, you can go to recipe and you can add that category name at the bottom. And so when you if you're ever using the arrange pages tool, which is up here, it's important to make sure all your recipes have the proper category name. Because that's how it's pulling the recipes to that category based on the category name. Yeah. Hope that answered.
I have a question. My name is Nancy Rodriguez. I did a cookbook with your company and it came out beautifully. I really liked everything. But then I guess I didn't pay on time because I'm so busy at work. And when I paid it and got back on, it didn't have my cookbook. So I don't know if it's the policy that you have to start all over or
No,
if you can get the cookbook back.
what I'm wondering is maybe, do you have two accounts? Maybe sometimes that happens where we set them up with a different email. But we wouldn't,
No, just one account.
if you don't mind, reach out to support at Create My Cookbook. Do you have the original order number? Like go in your email maybe?
I should, yeah.
You can email them with, here's the order that I had. Can you help me find this book? They'll be able to figure out what exactly went on. Most likely, if I had to guess, there's probably some duplicate accounts or something. So, but they can figure it out with that order number.
So they'll be able to, if, let's say when I paid again, maybe they created another account, is what you're saying? Maybe what happened instead of,
What happens is sometimes we're like, oh, we created an account, like we've created an account, and then we come back in and we like, oh, I think it's under this email, and someone will accidentally create two accounts. We would never create two accounts, but with that order number, we can figure out exactly what happened and we can find the book for you.
okay. And then the other problem I had was that when I did have the cookbook, I wasn't seeing any sales or anything. So I'm wondering, is there like an extra option for marketing to make sure people are seeing the book? Because there's so many books out there. It's like mine could be at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah. Are you selling the cookbook?
Huh?
Are you selling your cookbook? Like, are you using the seller platform?
Yeah, I mean, it's the only platform that I've known. I haven't seen anything different.
So when someone's selling the book, typically they are promoting it. Sorry. I would reach out to support and just let them know what you're working on. We have some resources. Carly's actually here. She works with accounts like that, and she can reach out to you and figure out the kind of best plan for that.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to put my email address on the chat or my phone
Actually,
number?
if you will just email support at Create My Cookbook and let them know that you're looking for your book and need some resources for selling it, we'll get you to the right person.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Tammy was physically examples be shown today. I could show some, Tammy. Jeannie asked if there were videos for like instructional, and we do. We have a YouTube how-to series, and we also have a help center guide. Let me let me share that with you.
All right.
And in this, you'll be able to, let me pop that in the chat. Here is one of our YouTube videos, and from there you'll see there's a playlist full of other other helpful videos. We also have a help center, and the easiest way to find that is just on the website. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see, but I'll also share the link. If you're trying to figure out how to do something, you can come down here to Help Center and you can search here, but we have all of these different articles on exactly how to do things. So yeah, that should be a helpful resource. And if you still can't figure it out, you can just go to our customer support. And there's two ways. You can email us directly, support@createmycookbook.com, or down here you'll see this little help button. You can click that and you can reach out to us that way, and that will get you to our customer support and we'll be happy to help you. But that's the link to the Help Center article. Tammy wants to see physical books. Let me go through those. First, to see the books, the easiest thing to do is to go to our website. Let's see. And scroll down to the bottom where it says personal. From here, you can see all the different personal binding styles that we have. There's also a calculator to get an idea of how much your book will be based on the number of pages, black and white pages, or what paper you select. We have two soft cover options. We have the soft cover perfect bound and the soft cover YRO. These are really great. The two, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen and kind of go back and forth because I have some physical copies here. So here's a perfect bound example. It's really nice. These are great for like gifting to whole big family. They look really nice on a bookshelf, and they can go up to 312 pages. This is the soft cover YRO. It does have the exposed wire through the back, and the reason for that is so that it can lie flat. This is a highly functional book. Great if you're for someone who's going to use it in the kitchen for the lie flat reason. So that's the soft cover. We have 3 hardcover options. I'll show you on the screen and then I'll pull it off and show you in person. Hardback case bound, hardback YRO, and the hardback ring binder. The hardback YRO and the hardback ring binder are my favorite. They're highly functional. They both lay flat. Let me stop and show you. Well, I don't have a binder. It's in there. I'd have to run and grab it, but they're exactly the same. They lie flat. The only difference is the mechanism inside will be a binder versus the YRO. We do have the hardback case bound. This is my favorite if you're doing that heirloom book that you want to sit on a coffee, like a coffee table. You want it to sit out, you're wanting it on the coffee table. This is my favorite book for that. And so it's really nice. It has that bookstore feel. There are 3 paper types. There's the standard paper, which is a 70-pound unfinished. So it has a matte-like finish paper. We have the premium paper, which is a 100-pound gloss. And so it has, it's great for those books that are, it's great for those books that are a lot of family photos. It's the same paper that they use on photo books, so they look really nice. There's a third option called Write in the Rain. The Write in the Rain paper is really good for if you are like, this is going to be a highly utilized book. You have a messy kitchen, you have a 4-year-old who's messy in the kitchen. That's what the Write in the Rain paper is good for. I will say, quick note about it is that the Write in the Rain paper looks identical to the standard paper. It's flat. It doesn't have the gloss finish. So if you have a lot of family photos, I might consider the premium paper. But again, if it's a highly functional cookbook that you're using every day, that's where that one's good for. But yeah, hopefully that answers. Hate to be a pain. So some of the pages on screen, I'm curious about the finished product. Oh yeah, no, I can let me see. It's kind of hard to tell on camera. I'm trying to find a page that has like a family photo to show you. This is the standard. Yeah, this is the standard paper. The book that I have right now doesn't have a family photo, but that one has a hand. That's the standard paper. Again, it's really kind of hard to tell on the camera. Let's see. Where's a gloss? Hmm. Here's gloss. This will be a gloss paper. You can see it's just a little bit shinier. And then I don't have the right and the right. I do, but it's in my kitchen, and but it looks just like the standard paper. Yeah, happy to help. Hey guys, any more quick cookbook questions? You can just raise your hand. All right, without further ado, I'm happy to share our newest thing. So guys, we started Cookbook Camp was kind of the baby sister to our newest service that we were excited to start offering, called the White Glove Service. And I'm gonna walk you through exactly everything. So we've heard for years that people want to talk to someone in person. They want to work with someone in person on this project. And that is what started with Cookbook Camp, and was kind of the baby sister to the White Glove Service. So what we're really excited about the White Glove Service is White Glove Service is going to be where you are paired one-on-one with a cookbook consultant who's going to get to know everything about your project, the goals, the vision that you're wanting, and help you reach that. Help you with ongoing guidance. You'll have in-person calls, and it will help you design your cookbook. This service will be a series of 5 meetings. You'll start off with a kickoff meeting. There'll be a recipe entry and organization meeting, followed by design and formatting, a reviewing, as well as an ordering meeting. And I want to go into detail of everything about these meetings. I'm going to stop. I want to answer some questions. I want to get some feedback, and then we'll go into the rest of the details. So as far as the kickoff meeting, you'll have this will be the first meeting that you'll have here. We're going to be asking you a lot of questions. What is your goal for this cookbook? What's your vision? What are you trying to do, so that we can create a personalized plan for you and your cookbook? When you leave this meeting, you're going to have a cookbook project timeline, as well as the project plan. We'll email it to you at the end, and we'll go ahead and set up your next meeting. The second meeting is going to be where we have, you'll have homework at the end of that first one. We're going to be like, okay, here's the plan for getting all of your recipes. We're going to help you get all your recipes. So between meeting 1 and meeting 2, which you set the timeline for, you're going to get all those recipes, and you can just forward them to your cookbook specialist. You can email them to them. We'll handle putting them all in. We'll use we type it, the import my recipes, all of that. We'll get all of those entered. At meeting 2 is when we're gonna look at your recipe collection and help you categorize and organize all of your recipes. And so that's where we will get that book laid out together. We'll get that done. Meeting 3, this is my favorite. We're going to take everything that we talked about in meeting 1. We'll have someone on our design team will have designed your book. They will have selected your fonts. They will have designed your cover. They will have done your section dividers. And when you come to meeting 3, this is where we're going through that design, and you're kind of giving that live in-person feedback. I want to kind of tweak this cover. I want to change the color, the font a little bit. That way you're getting that back and forth, and you're really seeing that cookbook come to life. Um, as well as also during this meeting, if you had any photos or stories, we've talked about that a lot in this meeting, you would bring those to that meeting and we would help input those together. Meeting 4 is all about reviewing. We'll help generate the proofs together. We're going to go through the different binding styles and kind of review the structure and flow of the book and get those proofs for you to review with on your own and with family and friends and anything that we see, and give any make any edits there. Then meeting 5, this is where together we will help you order your proof copy, the first copy of your book. We'll go over and answer any of those questions that you kind of had like today. What binding styles do you suggest? What kind of paper do you think? And we'll ask those questions about because it depends. If you're someone who, again, it's going to be a highly functional book, we're going to suggest one of the lay flat options with the write in the rain paper. But if you're like, this is going to sit on a coffee table and it's going to grandma, I'm going to suggest like a hardback case bound with the premium premium paper. So we'll talk about the needs that you have for your cookbook and help you place the order so that it doesn't feel so scary. I'm going to stop right here, and I would love to get some feedback from you guys, because like I said, this is a brand new product and we're so excited to be offering it, and we're so excited to get some live feedback. What did we miss? Anything? Is there anything else that you guys feel like it needs, or is there anything that you can see? Elaine? Oops,
I had to, I have a puppy, so I had to run outside, so I didn't get the very beginning. Did you say how you even get this white glove service? Because it actually sounds like it would be helpful to me.
Yeah, I'm actually going to cover that next. I'm just sharing is that people have been asking for years to work with someone one-on-one, and we started with camp, and we realized that people they're wanting a more custom service, and that's what kind of led to it. In just a second, I'll share exactly how to purchase and get started on this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, would love to. Susan?
Christina, you may be answering the question in a minute, but my question was going to be, what is the fee that's going to be charged for it? And in addition to the fee, are there additional fees to input the recipes into the recipe book?
So Susan, since you've asked it, let's just jump right in, because that is the next thing that I'm going over. And it is a great question. So let me go into the nitty gritty of everything that's kind of, what are you getting? I mean, you have the meetings, but what exactly are you getting? Let's see. What did I do? Here we are. Meeting. Okay. So with it, you are getting the 5 meetings with the cookbook expert. And those are, you actually know the cookbook experts right now who are going to be starting it. You're going to be working with either Carly or myself. We will be starting off the white glove service. And guys, what's really cool is both Carly and I have actually worked really a lot with the corporate side of things. We do both family and corporate. So we've worked on projects from BBC Good Food to Embassy Suites, BP. So we have a lot of knowledge when it comes to cookbooks, all the way from larger organizations to your family cookbook. So you're getting those 5 meetings. At the end of the first meeting, you'll get the project plan and the timeline for your project. It does include basically all the we type it, import my recipe credits that you need for your cookbook. There is a limit in the sense of this is a flat fee for one book. So as many recipes as we can fit in one book, we'll put in there. So if you figure there's the largest book we have is 300 pages. And if you had 2 recipes per book, we can cram a lot of recipes in there. But yeah, so we will handle all of that. It includes design services, which is a service we do currently offer, which includes the cover design, your section divider design, font selection and pairing, book layout, photos, story uploads, bringing it to about $1,200 value. And we got that number from, we've had people who have done this with someone else and used our software. And we just asked them, hey, what did you pay for this? And this is about what they paid. We're going to start this service at $399. I am today, because this is full transparency, this is the first time we're offering it. We are going to do a discount and do $349 for anyone that wants to purchase this week. And the reason that we're discounting it is, frankly, if you sign up for this, I'm going to be bugging you. Our product team's going to be bugging you because we're going to want your feedback. We're going to say, hey, what did we do right? What did we do wrong? How can we make this better? And so you can purchase. There's a QR code here. Carly will put the checkout link in the chat if you guys want to just click directly on it. But that's how you purchase it. And when this QR code is going to take you directly to a calendar to go ahead and book that first meeting, that kickoff meeting with Carly. Does that answer all your questions, Susan?
Kind of, because I want to purchase for probably 11 people, 12 people. So what you're saying is that's the price to create one cookbook, and then there's an additional price for the other 10.
Yep, you could purchase your cookbooks. That's for the creation fee, and then you can purchase as many copies of your book that you would like.
And is there a way to figure out about how much it would cost before I
Absolutely. If you have a general idea of how many recipes you have, you can get a general idea of how large your cookbook's going to be, and go to the pricing calculator, and you can get an idea of how much your book will be depending on the binding style. Do you know how many recipes you have?
I have about 200, plus I want to add in pictures.
You want to add in pictures. So you're probably looking at about 120. I'm assuming you would do 2 recipes per page with that large of a collection.
That works. That's fine.
Yeah. I would guess you're going to have about 120 pages. Do you know how many photos that you're wanting to include?
Probably 20.
Okay, so I would say 120 pages, and I would break it to like 30 color, because I'm assuming the section dividers, you might want a pretty pattern or something. 30 color and what is that, 90 black and white, and I would input that into the pricing calculator.
Okay.
And get an idea of how much each book is.
Okay, great. All right. And again, that price that you're quoting is for up to 300 pages, just in case I say, well, I actually want to put 1 recipe per page.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Gabrielle, did you have a question? No? Okay, I'm gonna jump into the chat really quickly. And I did want to say, if you get to we are going to do a money back guarantee. If you get to the first meeting with Carly or myself and you're like, this isn't a good fit, I can just do this myself, I want to use the designer. All you've got to do is email support and say, hey, I had signed up for the white glove service. I actually think I can handle it myself. Can you refund me? And we'll be happy to refund the money. And you can still work on your book and work on it yourself on the designer, but just to make sure that it's a good fit. Let's see. Julie, you're in. Oh, awesome. Get on the calendar. I'm out Thursday, Friday, but I know Carly's got time on her calendar for even like this week. So Gabrielle, for the design, there's 1 trillion meetings there. There's 5 meetings. You'll meet 5 times, and we will be emailing you back and forth. If you need something or if you have questions, you will have a direct person you email versus going through support. Oh, you don't want to be bothered with meetings? Okay, that's good feedback. So you just do you still want the one-on-one help? This is like, I love this feedback. Do you still want the one-on-one help with someone working on your book? You just don't want to do meetings, or you just want to kind of like, if you have questions, you'll reach out to support. You have all the recipes in. Okay. That makes sense.
I suggested maybe design services for her, Christina.
That makes sense. Yeah, we do have a design. If you're wanting just help with design, Gabrielle, and you can look at that on our site currently. Let me grab it and I'll show you where you can look for design services. We've offered this for years, where if you want someone to design your book, you can go to design services, and we will do just the designing for you. And there's packages here. So you could come here, you fill out a survey, and then you have a designer on our team who will help with the designing of your cookbook, and you're not having to do meetings. There's no in-person for that. So that might be a good fit for you. But yeah, no, any other questions, comments, feedback, we would love to hear. Any other just general questions for cookbooks? We've got just a couple of minutes and then I'll jump off. All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much. Oh, did someone?
Christina, can I ask one quick one?
Oh,
Would-
absolutely.
If we say we want to do it, and after the first meeting, we figure out this really isn't for us, is that still refundable?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
After the first meeting is when it's refundable. We're gonna do the 349 through next week. Or actually the next 2 weeks. We will make this an official service that's on the website and everything else in the next 2 weeks, and that's when it'll go for the 399 price. And just there's full transparency is, we have design services currently, and it starts at 249. And so with this, you're just getting the extra hand holding. And it's including the We Type It recipes. So
Okay,
that's
thank
kind of where
you.
it came from. Yeah. Any other questions? All righty. Well, Carly, if you'll pop that in the chat one more time. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll send a replay, and I'll also include the link if anyone has any questions. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.